The opinions expressed on this program are those of the program host and guest and are not necessarily those of this station, management, staff, and sponsors. WSTU does not endorse products that may be mentioned. Any reproduction or retransmission of this broadcast is strictly prohibited without written consent of WSTU. It's time now for the Crown Car Care Show. Call in with questions and comments, 220-9788, 220-WSTU. Now, here's your host.
Welcome aboard, everybody. We are down to the last quarter of 2023, and it was just the beginning. 3 months. October 4th is today.
Yes.
And
10-4, over and out.
10-4. We're heading into Halloween, and then we're heading into the turkey drop.
Yeah.
With Les Nessman.
Yeah.
And then we're heading into Christmas.
Yeah.
And we've got our project set out for Christmas, Frank. You know, that new model and that engine we've been working on for Santa's sled, it's just about done, and it's got twice the output.
Super sport jet engine. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Frank, you've been gone for a couple of weeks.
Yes.
You've been listening to me on Wednesdays. You've been having the best of Crown Car Care Radio Hour with Frank and Todd. And Frank was away on a trip.
Yeah.
You want to share it with us?
Yeah. But first, we have a caller on our newsmaker line. Go ahead, caller.
Hello, Todd. We missed you.
Hello there.
Frank and I tried to, best of with me on there.
Of course.
And also the world's best advertising lady.
Oh, yeah.
I think her name is Camera.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
She's got that good
Frank
voice.
went up to Niagara Falls with his wife.
Mm-hmm.
I think they had a romantic getaway.
That's why they were gone so long. It was like second honeymoon.
Woo.
The getaway.
Yeah, it was.
No, I think they went over the falls in a barrel. Todd.
Yeah.
That was a barrel of monkeys. But we had a great time. We had a great time. It was wow. Yeah. There was a jet.
All right. I'm going to get off and listen to you
All right.
talk about your wonderful romantic vacation.
Yeah,
Okay.
All right. Bye.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye.
All right. Bye. So yeah. So we toured.
Is this an annual trip you take? Or
Yeah.
have you done it before?
Yes. Yeah. Last couple, 2-3 years. So we try to keep it around the same time, but we may switch things up next year.
What airport did you land in?
LaGuardia. Yeah.
And then where'd you head from there?
We stayed in Flushing, and then we went. We took a tour trip to DC.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And we went to Philadelphia, and so we.
Well, did you in Philadelphia? Did you get out, or was it a drive-through? I mean,
we got out.
Independence Hall.
We went to Independence Hall.
And
yeah.
the Liberty Bell used to
Liberty
be
Bell.
there. It was moved to
Well, they have a replica there.
I touched it.
Yeah.
And then when I was a kid, we used to always go there because that's where I'm from, Philadelphia, born. And then there was all the different landmarks. Betsy Ross's house, had Carpenter's Hall, and a few other things. And then it's always fun.
Yes. Yeah. And we went to DC and took a tour of the Capitol.
Okay, so when you went to
the White
DC,
House.
was there a lot of fences and boarded up, like the IRS is boarded up? I know that the IRS building is closed down.
We drove by that, and our bus went right by there. But yeah, it looked like they were open for business.
But they did.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was interesting. So
Was there a lot of people there?
yes,
There was.
always yes, and of course the White House is actually located in a park.
Yeah, and if you keep looking in one direction, you see the Washington Monument, and you see all those that strip of land that's surrounded by water. The mall, I think they call it.
Went to the Lincoln Memorial.
Was there vendors on the mall selling things?
No, there was people.
Was there people expressing their viewpoints about the
Yes.
discontent they had with the world?
Yes.
There were.
Yes, yeah, of course, yeah. But that's good. That's a part
Well,
of
you have
democracy.
to. That's the right to gather, the right to
Freedom of assembly.
Yeah, but you can't yell fire in the theater. But
Right.
you have the right to express yourself, which has been, oddly enough, in our country, it's been stopped. I mean, it's been it's been blocked, our freedom of expression.
Yeah.
And I think it's rather odd.
Yeah.
It's just odd. I don't understand why you would want to block it. If it's a dissenting view and it's peaceful, maybe you ought to listen a little bit, because if there's that many people that are that strongly against whatever you're thinking, you might want to think about your thinking.
Right.
And maybe incorporate something. If 8 out of 10 people don't want what you're doing, you might want to listen to them just a little.
Just a bit.
Just a bit. Well, that's not what we got.
No.
Did you see any cool cars up there? Any electric cars or Teslas or anything?
Lots of Teslas in Flushing, and I think a lot of them were taxis, to be honest, private taxis.
Oh, well, that tells me one thing. That's the first thing I thought of. That means they must last and not break down.
Yeah.
Because all taxis always use cars that last. Like for the longest time, a lot of taxis were using the Priuses, the Camrys, the Toyotas. You know, the Toyotas last forever, and everything breaks, but a lot less than others.
Right.
So if they're using those Teslas, that tells me that there's a longevity and a durability positive side to it.
Yes.
Or else they wouldn't choose them as taxis, because that's their biggest expense, next to liability insurance and just general cost of business is your expense of the vehicle, the maintenance of it, and the purchase of it.
Yeah,
it comes into play. If you're running a real livery service, you have to. Your choice of vehicles will make or break your business.
You bet. Yeah,
and if they're using them, that means it tells me something good.
Yeah. So we saw. I was surprised to see that many electric cars.
Now, how did you get around? Hitchhike?
We got around by bus or by train.
Did you see a lot of policemen? I've heard that there's
a few. We did
very little enforcement in bigger cities on crime.
There was not a whole lot of negative activity. But
Did you see any busloads from Texas coming up with the immigrants? Does people jump on the fence?
I think they go up to where do they go? They go to Brooklyn, or they're going to Midtown Manhattan. They're dropping them off.
I think there should be some legalized immigration to fill some of the job empty. There's a lot of we're underemployed, right? Yeah. We're underemployment. We have more service sector jobs and skilled jobs to fill than we have people that can do it.
Correct.
So I'm in favor of an immigration policy that would bring in training, just like in Ellis Island did, 100 years ago. Yeah, it'd be wonderful. Yeah, be a boon to the economy. Actually, we need immigration, but we don't need it this way.
No,
it's just anyone that would allow that. I mean, it's just hard to even imagine. It blows my mind, Frank.
It does. One of the things I was reading in the news as I was trying to catch up so that I would not be a babe in the woods on our Wednesday show was all the talk that about Toyota, developing the solid state battery program.
Well, there's that Chinese firm that has that battery too, and they're also. I send you. We talked about it through text, Frank. Remember the battery that uses a different metal.
Yes, there's an aluminum.
It uses a much less toxic,
right?
Yeah, because to mine lithium, there's child labor laws being human conditions that
deplorable. Yeah,
and not even going to go there.
Yeah, but so I just thought that before we went to air, I went to the Toyota website.
Oh, good.
And I'm looking at their cars, and they got some really neat cars that they're showing. They've really refreshed most of their models.
They got stale for a while. Some of these Toyotas,
right?
They did.
Right. Yep.
Honda did too, and they've done a bang up job as well.
Yeah. And so the Highlander is listed at. They offered it on a lease program, and so it costs about $36,620 to buy a Highlander.
36 is like the average list.
Yeah.
Okay. Cheaper than I thought, actually. I thought they were more.
And they've got some great product names on their cars. They have the GR Corolla.
Corolla, onomatopoeia.
Right? Yeah. And they've got the 2024 Toyota Crown.
Well, the Crown is actually a model line that they have in Japan. That's a super high hand-built luxury car that's still made to this day.
See?
The Century. But there's a Crown on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they have the Tundra. So
Tundra is kind of an action word, isn't it?
Yes. And so they've got some really nice product names and that sort of thing. But then they get to their all electric car. Do you know what that name is?
What's that?
It's a B lowercase, Z uppercase, 4X.
Here's what I'm seeing.
What the heck
here's
is
my
that?
commentary on Toyota. Toyota.
Yeah.
next to the Honda Insight, which was the first hybrid commercially available or available to the public.
Right.
Toyota is the dragon slayer on bringing this whole concept of electric cars and hybrids and this whole discussion, this whole execution of a directive on electric cars was started by Toyota. But if you read between the lines with Toyota, you cannot put all your eggs in one basket with electric cars, or else you will fail miserably as a company. It does not. Electric cars are great, but they don't fit in probably 75% of people's lives.
Right.
No business buying an electric car.
Right.
No business.
Just like
you're going to be in misery.
Right. Just like energy itself, when they say, well, what kind of energy should we have? And the answer should be all of the above.
But you see, Toyota isn't hammering on everything on electric cars. There's some companies that are putting everything on electric. It's going to be a grave mistake.
Yeah.
They're going to fail.
Yeah.
It's because it doesn't work.
Right.
Society would have to change, actually. We'd have to change a lot to make them viable.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they are viable for certain people.
Right. So the all-electric Toyota sells for $42,000. Its range is 252 miles, but
the solution is hybrids, plug-in hybrids.
Right. But with the new battery design, they have a 10-minute charge.
Okay,
so it's no different than filling
up again once that we get there.
Right.
And those chargers, because they're level 3, DC to DC,
right?
As long as there's availability,
right?
Because if there's one in each town, it fills up the same. But can you imagine everyone having to go to the same gas pump?
Yeah,
it just doesn't work.
Yeah,
and then once if this thing takes off, it won't in my life, but the infrastructure from the electrical grid and distribution is going to have to change radically.
Right.
A redoing of the whole grid to handle the load.
Well, I think the only way to really make it work is that all the roofs of all the houses have to be solar.
Yeah,
and then plugged into the system.
Getting an eminent domain.
Yeah.
On a partial. So I agree. There has to be a contributor. Yes, but just the pipeline has to be bigger.
Right. Right.
Well, you remember when the internet first came out, it was dial-up.
Yeah.
It took, since 96 was the first internet, it took 30 years to get to the pipeline we got now. Back out 5. So 20 years, say. It took to get the pipeline big enough to handle what we got now. Right. 20 years.
To build it out.
To build out the pipeline.
Right.
To what we're comfortable with. And I still think some of this stuff, I think they throttle it back to make money, but that's my whole thing with the internet.
Right. Well, yeah, because once you reach a point, if you're always innovating and you don't have any product to sell,
you got to throttle back on what you got, baby, and make it a cash cow.
Right.
I never thought about that. Yeah. Because there is no innovation now with the internet.
No.
The core internet. For years, everything was about the pipeline, the internet.
Right.
Now it's not. Now it's just like getting a gallon of gas.
Right.
It's built out.
Yeah.
That's right. There's nothing new. Now cell phones, I remember when cell phones first came out. Oh, these telephone companies, they're not going to survive. They're printing more money now than they ever have.
Yeah.
They get it on the fees.
Yeah.
Just look at your phone bill. Look at the fees they nail you on. You could run half the world on the fees. Right.
So, anyway, so that was just kind of a look at, because we haven't talked about that much about Toyota.
We've never have, really.
Yeah.
And Toyota is who started this darn thing with the Prius.
Right.
They really did. That's how I started my training, was fixing them.
Right. And they have been dragging their feet, pretty much.
I think I would be too.
Yeah.
I think I'd be dragging my feet in this whole mess that we're in.
Right.
I don't know if I'd be pushing electric, but I don't know if I'd be doing it as hard as they are.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
If I was a company, I knew, because it's not going to work.
Yeah.
It just won't work. Look at poor Lucid.
Yeah.
They're doomed.
But their advertising looks great.
Yeah, but it's just not going to work.
The pictures are so pretty.
Yeah, $140,000 with exotic woods.
So here's the problem. So once you go to their website, you are doomed to have their advertising follow you.
Oh, they plant some cookies there on your computer and they track you everywhere.
God.
Well, you remember what you found in the trunk, don't you?
Oh,
Of
yeah.
that one? A
Yeah.
screw. He picked it up. I was more interested to see how he would use the
React.
sleight of hand
Yeah.
to pick it up without us seeing it.
Right.
And he
It
did.
didn't happen.
No, he did. Yeah, he didn't.
No.
The screw.
I couldn't stand staring
Well,
at
you had to know what it was for. Was it placed there, or was it a result of manufacturing? I don't know.
Yeah.
I know that we probably have about 11 to 13,000 we could open the trunk on and check.
Yeah.
See if there's any other ones with screws, because there's a boatload of lot after lot of unsold Lucid technology. I mean, Lucid Air's vehicles.
Yeah.
What are they going to do with them? Because after about 2 years, you
Yeah.
can't sell them as new because now everything's degrading.
Right.
Rubber's getting hard. The plastics, the tires need to be swapped out.
Well, you saw the picture I sent you.
Oh, I know you
So
did.
sitting on a train that was stopped
Yeah.
above a parking lot, and there was all these Rivians just parked there.
Rivian's another one I don't think is going to make
Did
it.
you see the
Rivian isn't going to make it.
Did those cars look fresh and new in that picture?
Poor
And-
Rivian. They've.
Woo.
It's.
Wow. I
They
know.
they even have well, you said Orlando, they got a dealer up there.
Yes. And
We had a car come in our shop that was a Rivazani tank. It's a $250,000 vehicle.
a tank.
Well, it looks like it's called the Tank. It's a Revazani. Oh,
Revazani.
Yeah, it's built off a Jeep platform, but the thing's got bulletproof glass and all kinds of stuff. It's like a survival vehicle,
Wow.
and it's a customer of ours. It's only got 3,000 miles on it.
Revazani.
Revazani tank. So look it up. It's an unbelievable looking thing. It's cool as heck. Looks like something out of Star Wars. And it's a vehicle. I've driven it. Yeah, build quality's pretty good. They had some issues, and we're doing some of the warranty on it.
Oh, yeah.
The owner gets reimbursed.
The tires on that are just massive.
It's got a big V8 in there from a Dodge Charger. It's just a fascinating vehicle.
So it's spelled Rezvani.
Revzani.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it is, it's like a Jeep on steroids.
It's a rich man's car.
Wow.
You know what I'm talking about? It's like it's like a G-Wagon thing, but fancy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and it's got the light bar on above the
thing looks.
windshield.
It was in my shop for a week. We're doing programming keys, doing some things on it.
Wow.
But when I would drive it, people would stop and videotape the thing. People would stop in traffic wherever I drove it.
Oh, sure.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Over 200,000.
Yeah.
No, just fabulous owners. Just they love the vehicle. It's cool.
V8.
V8, and not. A lot of people, if you get a $200,000 car, it's like you can't breathe on it.
Yeah.
Don't touch that. No, it's just drive this car.
Yeah.
That's why I am.
Yeah.
Certain people, when they get these high-end cars, you can't even get near the thing.
Oh, yeah.
Heaven forbid, if you had a hangnail and you open the door handle and it scratches the paint, they'll make you repaint it. And it's just awful. And the more you are particular about a car at that level, the more dings and crap you have happen to you, just because you attract the negative.
Yes. It seems that way.
Yeah.
Just let it go.
Let it go.
Yeah.
Let it go. I heard there's that new model coming out. What's it? The Fauci's coming out.
The Buick Fauci.
Yeah, we'll have to play that. Yeah. It's a real nice car.
We'll do that on our way out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Today's show,
yes,
we're going to talk about, the show moves along so fast, it's already half over.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about what is there on maintenance on a car today. Let's say we use a 2020 Ford Mustang. Okay.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about from the bumper forward, what you need to do. What is there from a maintenance standpoint other than changing oil that you need to look at? What do you need to do?
Yeah.
And pretty much that model will fit into any car, but a few things may change. But for the most part, there is still maintenance on vehicles, and it does result in less repairs and a better running, performing vehicle. It does result in positive outcomes other than just the pure, sometimes maintenance is pure maintenance and you don't know any different other than it operating normally.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you're going to operate normally, but you're going to have fewer and fewer issues with your vehicle. And there is real maintenance on them. Even electric cars, there's maintenance on them. In fact, I've been talking and reading that on electric cars, they break more. They do.
Oh, yeah.
Here's anecdotal story.
Okay.
You want to take a break?
No.
Oh, okay.
We're good.
Anecdotal story. Friend of mine that I worked at Bill Red at Ford here in town. Oh, Crown Car Care, who sponsors this radio show, and we didn't even talk about the business. We're in the business of servicing and helping and fixing cars, and we have 2 locations, one on Cove Road and one in Palm City. Palm City Charlie, just the gentleman that called our hotline, he's a regular visitor over at my Palm City location, and we take care of his VW, his diesel VW. Fabulous car, hard to get, rare, and boy, do they get good gas mileage. If you're listening out there, Palm City Charlie, you got a real gem there. That thing's beautiful. And it's mint. And it's his. And he loves it.
Yeah.
But 2 locations, and we do half of what we do is things that break, and half of what we do is things that maintain. Yeah. Right? The maintenance side of the business is very important. Gives you credibility. If I didn't push maintenance and take care of your vehicle, I almost feel it's a breach of duty. Because then I'm not giving you sound advice and sound business practices so you can have fewer repairs and take care of your vehicle. You're a maintenance guy. You do all your services on your car. Last one we did was that 3-part fuel service for your wife's car.
Yeah.
Right? But they're all real. They all have benefits. It's just there's a certain group of people that are just, they don't do it. Yeah. They don't want to do it.
Yeah. They just drive them till the wheels fall off and get another one.
They just don't do it.
Yeah.
I've got a few converted people.
Good.
It's kind of like converting them in religion. You got to convert them to the Crown way.
That's
So we have a 2020 Mustang.
Yeah.
It's lime green. We'll use a lime green example.
Okay.
I own one. My lime green. We're going to start at the back end and go forward. Okay. So the first thing you encounter is your tires, right? Those tires. Mm-hmm. You have to maintain them. You have to replace them. Even if the tread isn't worn, if they're getting old, they're more dangerous than a bald tire because the cords separate and they blow out.
So you get the little checkering on the rubber. You can actually see the dryness of the rubber.
Sure. Yeah. And there's a code on there that shows the month, the week of the year it was made and the year. So you can find out when they were made. So your tires. Now let's just talk pure maintenance from what I would consider like a maintenance program on your vehicle, not like when your brakes wear out. That's a wear item, and you know what you have on that. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about things that you don't know about that you need to maintain. I guess let's clarify what we're going to talk about.
Okay.
Because tires really aren't in that category, I'll be honest with you. They wear, everyone knows it.
And they wear faster on electric cars.
Yes. In fact, I have another story if I can tell you. I have a customer of mine that wants me to fix his Model X Plaid rear tire wear. So there's some updated parts that we're going to do for him.
All right. Well, we'll talk about that.
He's going to pay me to do it because he wants me to perform the service because he only wants me.
Isn't that nice?
It's nice. Okay, so back end, you got in a Mustang, there's a differential or the rear end.
Yeah.
There's fluid to change. Darn right there is. I'd recommend it at 50,000 miles. 50 to 60, 70. Don't go above 100 and not change that oil. Because if you do, you're going to see how neglectful you were of your poor rear end.
Yeah.
It's screaming for attention.
Right.
And the oil just turns black, full of small metal shavings. Because it's metal.
Metal on metal, yeah.
And you've got a ring gear and a pinion gear. That's how you change the direction from longitudinal to horizontally.
Right.
That's how you get the the direction of turn from your engine starting the process, right? The drive shaft to the rear end. It changes direction. Well, there's an oil in there you have to change. I've already changed the oil on my Shelby, my Mustang. Done it once.
Good for
and
you.
It was dark. It was nasty when it came out because it's just initial break-in plus you don't want your break-in oil. So 50,000 miles is a good number. Change your rear end fluid. 2 ways we can do it. You can pull the cover off the back if it has one, and you can actually look inside. Or you can, we have machines that, of course, but there's also a machine that you can just take the fluid out and put new in. I mean, it's a little bit cheaper, but you don't get this, you're not getting any results. You don't see anything.
Right.
It's like doing
visual.
There's nothing. You're just doing the service.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Either way, it's good. It's better
than not doing it.
Yes. So you have the rear end. Let's move forward. What's the next item that you might have to maintain on a vehicle? New 2020 Mustang. We're moving up to the transmission. Right? We're almost, we're right there at the firewall. And we're going to go inside the cab and we're going to go to the cabin air filter. That's maintenance. You need to change it. Most people don't even know they have one.
Yeah.
I had a customer call me this morning on my cell phone. A good customer. His name's Dean. He has 2 dogs he keeps in the cab of his 2019 Super Dude. He called me up. He says, "My AC's cold, but there's no airflow."
Uh-huh.
I knew right away what it was. His cabin air filter is probably just a big bed of dog hair, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh, yeah, I forgot about that."
Yeah.
He's running to get in the cabin filter. I think he wanted to call him talk.
Yeah.
Because he ended up getting on other topics. And I think it was just a springboard for him to call me, and he was lonely or something. He just wanted a friend to talk to, is what I'm thinking. But I always do.
That's great.
Yeah. Because I think he knew the answer. He just needed a reason to call.
Yeah.
That's okay. I do it with lots of people. Friends. That's why we have friends, right?
You bet.
Friends are great to have. And we're friends at Crown Car Care. We're friendly people. If you want to come out to Palm City, you'll meet Kristen. If you come out to Cove Road, you'll meet Brooks. But Brooks is on a trip right now. My manager, he won a trip to Mexico from one of my parts distributors. All expenses paid to a 5-star hotel for a week. I'm jealous.
Yeah.
He's paid vacation. He's paid to go, and he's in a week with his family, his whole family.
Nice.
In Mexico, some big fancy resort, and they're doing all kinds of education, training, and stuff. They've got guest speakers. It's for a whole week.
That's great.
Yeah, he's enjoying himself. But Brooks is my manager over at Cove Road.
All right. Well, we got one call, and then we have to go to our break.
Okay. Well, let's do a call.
We'll take our caller. Go ahead, caller.
Where's Buddy, Todd?
Buddy, Buddy
you didn't mention Buddy in Palm City.
Yeah, Buddy took a brief momentary lapse of.
Okay, so he's not there.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you could have just said he's on a trip.
He's on a trip that's has nothing to do with Crown anymore.
Yeah.
And
okay. All right.
There's a reason though, and
okay. Let's just.
We'll leave it at that.
But I want you, if you come by tomorrow or the next day.
Oh, I'll come by. We'll hang out.
Well, I want you.
I'm busy right now.
Kristen has worked for me in the past.
All about me.
Well, good. All right.
I'm busy every day, Todd, but I'll stop. So look at my fake fish tank.
Yes, come by. We have
my favorite.
No, but Kristen likes real fish, so you might get a real fish tank now.
Oh.
So she's your new favorite friend now. Come in and say hi to her.
Love for you, Todd.
Yeah, you gotta love
Kristen.
Kristen.
You're hungry. You loan me your car. People, this guy Todd loves his customers. Right, Todd?
That's right. That's right.
I ain't lying. But I'm, it's going to be 76 this month, so I'm heading out.
Is that all?
I'm in my last quarter, heading for 100, Todd.
Okay, good for you.
All right, well, I'm going to come by your place and watch.
Palm City Charlie, thank you for your service. You're a United States veteran.
I used to jump out of planes, folks. Perfectly good.
Paratrooper. Hey, do you have to pull the ripcord when you're with a?
No, because you're on a static line. I jumped out of a C-1. Well, I didn't jump. You step out of a jet. You don't jump.
Really?
C-141. Lots of guys on that one.
Did you carry a gun
and
with you?
I landed on a highway at night, people, with 3 cars coming. That was when I was in the 82nd Airborne at Fort Bragg. National Guard flew us. Our nickname was No Good. 6 miles off the drop zone, 2 miles outside of the fort. My plane. There I was on the highway.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just
what did you do?
Stop though.
Up to no good.
What happened then?
People were in pea fields. Honestly, we got out of the night maneuver. We were going to sleep outside. We don't like to do that. We like beds too.
Yeah.
Here comes the general in a deuce and a half. That's a 2.5 ton big truck.
Yeah.
Get in. We all got out of sleeping in the woods.
Yeah.
That's fabulous. And you had a general pick you up. That's a great story.
Well, he was in a Jeep. There was a deuce and a half that was following him.
Well, that's
generals don't do that.
You probably got a warm meal.
Remember Kelly Heroes with the big fat guy in a bag?
Yeah. That's one of my favorite shows. Anyway,
I'll come by and visit you, Todd, Saturday.
All right.
Yeah, tomorrow, tell him about me off air, okay, Frank?
Okay.
I don't think he knows.
Okay.
All right.
You got it.
All right. Bye, Palm City Charlie.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye.
All right.
Well, let's take a break. It was
yes.
We need to.
Yes. We got to pay some bills.
Yeah.
So here we go.
Introducing the Buick Fauci with built-in GPS that's got you covered wherever you go.
Fauci, I'd like to drive to the bank.
That's a good reason for a mask.
Other GPS systems make driving predictable, but when it comes to giving directions, the Fauci can't make up its mind.
Fauci, take me to Macy's.
I don't think we have enough information to do that, quite honestly.
Driving in bad weather is never an issue because the Fauci doesn't follow the science. It follows the teachers' unions.
Fauci, I need to drop my kid off at school.
I totally disagree with you.
The Buick Fauci, the car that's been locking down the competition for over a year.
Fauci, can you show me how to get to the theater?
Here we go again with the theater. Let's get down to the facts.
We are back. You're listening to the second half of the
Crown Car Care Radio Hour.
Right.
We're talking about a 2020 Mustang. What maintenance is there on a new vehicle?
Right.
Well, the differential or rear end fluid's one. All right. Number, that's if it's rear-wheel drive, but a lot of these factors come into play, just the particulars of your exact car, but just the the feeling and the thought process of me going through this example should give you ideas on your car that there's things you probably should be doing to it that you're not, and it's never too late, and it's just good sense.
Yeah.
The next item I think I mentioned was the cabin air filter.
Yeah.
That's a good maintenance item. A lot of people don't know they have them. A lot of people don't know you can buy different types, different HEPA levels. You can buy them with carbon in them. Most people don't know that.
No.
There's all different types
you
can buy. Some cars have 2 and 3, some don't.
Yeah,
Mercedes. I know Mercedes have 2. I think BMW's got 2. Most cars have 1.
One. Ford is just 1.
Yeah, it's just 1, but that's fine. And that's all you need.
Yeah.
Right. And they're serviceable. They're cheap. Some are a little difficult to get out. I mean, it's not, everything's not easy, like a battery on a car. Yeah. You think, just throw the battery in for free. Well, wait a minute. It takes 45 minutes to put that battery in. Then you got to program it and all that stuff. I don't know if it's free.
Right.
Now, if it was for your garden tractor, maybe free to put it in, but not a car.
Or a 56 Chevy.
Yeah, it's so changed so that every process is now not what you think it is.
Right.
Let's keep moving forward.
Yes.
Now we have the transmission that's under us. You better believe, and you better not listen to what these people say about, you never have to service your transmission fluid for 100,000 miles. Nonsense. You should be doing it about 75 to 80,000. You should be servicing your transmission fluid, and you should be looking at it at every oil change. If your oil change place isn't checking your transmission fluid and looking at the condition, I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because that's part of what needs to be done. You need to look at these things. Well, how do I look at them? I've got an invitation for you. You're invited to come to Crown Car Care. 2 locations to serve you. We would like you to be our guest at our store. Doesn't mean everything's free. I mean, you're my guest. Will open the door like you've lived there, and we'll give you your favorite chair to sit in, and come in and talk with us and bring your vehicle, and we'll introduce it to the Crown Way. And I will tell you, the Crown Way is different than most. We repair things right. On equal repair, you might find that I'm a little bit more detailed when it comes to things why they break and how they break and what we replace it with. We use quality parts. We're probably on par, considered slightly above average on cost. Everything's expensive, but we're not cheap. I don't want to be cheap because cheap ain't good.
Yeah, cheap is actually expensive.
Yeah, cheap it doesn't serve anybody other than the moment of your wallet.
Right.
And that's dumb sense, because if you're going to, it's just a repair, especially a repair, even on maintenance, you have to use quality fluids, the right fluids. Yeah. Got to use everything. It's got to be right. It's not about the cheapest. If you're running your world off of the cheapest, one is it's going to bite you, and 2, you might not be a candidate to be a Crown Car Care customer. I'll be honest with you, because we're not the cheapy thing. We're not.
But in actuality, it's probably more cost effective.
Yes, I mean, but we're not like it's it's 10, 15, 20% more.
Yeah.
Now, I did do flyers. I just sent out postcards to neighborhoods around my shops, and we do have a oil change special on there for $59. And if you spend a certain level of money, you get $50 off, like $1,000. And introduces ourselves. There's a picture of me on it. Looks like I'm a lot younger. I don't know what they've done with the photo.
A little Photoshop.
They must have.
No.
But it still looks like me, but it looks like I got perfect skin and complexion and not gray hair on my head.
Wow.
But
maybe it's just an older picture in the file.
It could be.
Yeah.
But that's a coupon. Yeah. We don't do coupons. It's nonsense. It's just, it's just doesn't work. In my business, it doesn't work. And certain, like an Jiffy oil change, I guess they work there with them. I don't know. I don't even look at those, competition. I don't trust them. It's just not even.
I got very few responses. I did a lot of coupons, with my paint store.
Yep.
And I got a marginal response, and people would ultimately bring in, even after the coupon was expired, and I would still honor it, because the coupon,
me too.
It would do its job.
It got you in the door, and that's all I wanted.
That's all.
And I want you to come to the Crown way of thinking.
Yeah.
That's why I'm getting you in the door.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for if you want the cheapy repair, I'm not that shop.
Yeah.
You need to go down the road somewhere else. One of these tire stores or something. They're not even cheap, but I don't know.
Yeah.
We're just not that way.
Yeah.
And we're that way because I've never been that way. I wouldn't be successful if I was that way. I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't have made it this far. People respect me for the diagnostic abilities of our shops and the high level of quality equipment and the quality people.
Right.
And none of that comes cheap.
Nope.
So,
well, we're going to take our last break,
perfect.
Todd. And when we come back, we're going to finish talking about that story you began talking about when you were working at Bill Reddit Ford.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. We forgot about that story.
Yeah. So
okay. Let's do it.
We'll catch up with that when we return. So stick with us. We'll be right back. We are back.
We're back on the air.
Yes.
There was the parking lot was filled out there. We had our people that come to watch us through the windows, like they do the NBC Today show. They weren't here for 2 weeks, so they got pent up. They all came here. Yeah. So there's just people everywhere.
Yes.
Oh, so the story about the Bill Reddit.
Yeah.
I think we were talking about a quality test. Oh, I called him on the phone and I talked to him about. We're talking about wait times. Remember, we were talking about a dealer. Well, he worked with me at Bill Reddit. He works down at one of those ones down south at Mullinax Ford, I believe.
Sure.
His name's Chris, great friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
He came into Bill Reddit right out of a trade college for auto mechanics, and he fell under me. I mean, he paid attention to me in my ways, and he does it the Todd way. Wildly successful he is. He still works as the dealer though, and he's very happy. He likes that level of organization. It's a little bit more organized, company policy type stuff, and he likes that, which is great. And we were talking about cars coming in for repairs. They can sit sometimes 2, 3, 4 weeks. 4 weeks. And then I asked him a question. And the question was, Chris, you've worked at a couple different places other than Bill Reddit, where you met me. And you know my abilities and I know your abilities. Have you met, it's been 25 years, 30 years. Have you met anybody that you've worked with that is at your level of diagnostics and the ability and the knowledge of cars and how to fix them? And he said right up, no. Wow. No. It's not there.
Yeah.
It's not there.
No.
It's because this industry has gotten so advanced and we haven't changed anything where it's placed in society with that level of income, that where it fits in socioeconomically and status-wise as an automobile technician hasn't changed.
Right.
But the technology and the hardness and the complications of it have changed at least triple of what it was originally
exponentially
required.
Yeah.
And we haven't changed the mechanism, our feeder mechanism to get people into that trade.
The delivery service. Yes. To get them into the trade. Yes.
We haven't done, nothing's changed. So we're usually it's the kids that don't function well in a classroom activity in high school, they send them to the auto shop class. It's still that way.
Right.
Okay. But that's not what's needed.
No.
So
they need to pay attention to math class and
everything. It's highly technical and it's rewarding. Anyone person that wanted to go into this field, I would salute them and say, I would give them all kinds of tips.
Yeah.
But there are landmines that you need to avoid.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the one landmine, and it's this way with everything in life. And how many minutes we got left?
We've got about 10 minutes.
Oh, we got time.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say this. There's and where I sit at a computer in one of my shops, I put a little metal sign up. It's about 6-inch square. It says, I will do today what others won't. So tomorrow I can do what others can't.
Nice.
But that's this business. And this is what Chris, now
Just
here's
figured
the
out.
takeaway story from me
Mhm.
talking with Chris.
Mm-hmm.
We both will always take the challenge on.
Yes.
Because that's our education system to learn the new stuff.
Yeah.
We got no other way other than books and classroom. Our hands-on is having to brutally fix cars that we know nothing about.
Right.
We know how to problem solve. We know how to do the scientific method, the inquiry method. We know all that stuff comes into play with cars.
Right.
If you watched me diagnose a car, it's the same process on every car. Every car I do the same, and it's a lot more than you think. Before I even touch that car, I'm doing at least 20 minutes of research time and looking at databases and scanning and everything else. Before I even start poking around, I drive the car for 15 minutes. And you wonder why diagnostics can be sometimes the most expensive part of repair. A simple fix will have the diagnostic charges will be more than the repair charges.
Yeah.
Right? Because we have to spend a lot of time solving these problems, and it can take a good couple hours to get to the solution. And all this is a bolt that needs to be lengthened a half inch on this motor mount, something stupid like that. But
Right.
my point is many times the repair is nothing.
But
You're figuring out that the zip ties melted on the exhaust and causing that smell. It may take you all day to figure that out.
Yeah.
Right? Where's that smell? It's the zip tie that they used on the catalytic converter supply company to put one of the labels on it when they were building it. And it melted. I'm just using making it up as I go here, but you can see where I'm coming from.
Right.
Sometimes it's the process has become much more tangible and valuable in our business than it ever has been. The process of finding the solution.
Right.
Not the solution, the finding of the solution.
Right.
Has now become paramount in our business. And this is where every repair shop that I see that fails, it's because they're no good at diagnostics. They don't want to learn, and they don't listen to that sign that I just said that sits above my desk. If you're not if you're using everybody around you to fix the hard ones because you're too lazy to look up solutions and problem solve and use voltage drop tests and lab scopes, then you might want to consider a different trade.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, because it doesn't work. You have to have grit. You have to have the perseverance and the persistence to get to the solution, even though it's difficult.
Yeah.
I worked all weekend, Frank, on one car, and it's done.
Nice.
And it was a big, huge, medium-duty truck diesel.
Whoa.
I fixed it. Simple solution, a long road to get there.
Yeah.
And I found it.
Nice.
It was a transmission speed sensor. An Allison transmission takes the speed sensor and feeds it in as a crank signal sensor for the engine, and it was an erratic signal. It was still outputting no codes, but it was erratic, so you were getting a no-start condition on the vehicle.
I
found it. But the process only took 10 minutes to change the part.
Yeah.
It took me all weekend to figure it out.
Jeez.
Like I said, you can see the lopsidedness of my business now.
Right.
It's all about the diagnosis now for the repair side.
Mm-hmm.
Maintenance side is just trusting the business, trusting your gut instinct that they got it going on at Crown, and they do have it going on at Crown because we speak the truth. Even if it's bad, we speak the truth. When cars are broke, they're broke, people. You can't steer the repair.
Yeah.
I have too many people I see, they try to steer it by dollar amount. No. When the car's broken, it has to be fixed, or else it's going to be the same problem again, or it's never going to be fixed, and you're going to throw a small amount of money at it and get no results, or you're going to throw the right amount of money and get all the results. You throw all the money at it. I mean, the right amount of money.
Yeah.
Not too much, not too little, but the right amount.
Right.
And get it fixed.
Right.
With a quality part. So,
and it's a lot cheaper than a new car.
And we're finding a lot of parts that are specialty items on vehicles, like sensors and things. You have to use the OEM.
Yes.
You have to.
Yeah.
It's more expensive. But if you want to fix it,
right.
Sorry.
You don't want to be back
cheapo
in the shop.
house brand distributor caps or spark plugs or relays, they're junk. They don't work.
Right.
Just giving you a tip out there. If you're fixing cars yourself, use high quality parts and don't think any more than that.
Yeah.
High quality. And it's going to be a lot of times a third the price more. It's fact.
Yeah.
It's just reality. If you want your car fixed or not.
Yeah.
If you want it fixed right, it's more money.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We've never really talked on that angle on the show. And I said, you know what? I don't care. It's truth.
Yeah.
And it's the truth. And I think it will delight people to hear this, that I'm speaking that truth about the dollar cost of the repair, that we're slightly more expensive than most shops. First of all, most shops can't even figure out what the problem is.
Right.
They don't even know what to do. They're just throwing things at it, and one of them sticks, and they think they fixed it.
Well, before I knew you, many years ago, I had a situation where I would take my car into the shop, and they would just keep changing out different parts
until they got the last one they changed the fixes. It's the one.
Yeah.
The last four didn't matter.
Right. And I go, well, this is not working for me.
That sometimes happens at the dealer. I hate to tell you.
Yeah.
I've worked at a dealer.
Yeah. So I'm not a big fan of that process. So
no,
because you want to go and get it done one and done.
But you want to know why it broke as well as what is broke.
Correct.
The why is important.
Right.
Yeah. There may be two steps in the repair. You got to fix the why portion of it, and then you got to fix what broke.
Right.
Stop both. And that's people have a hard time understanding that.
Knowledge is power. I tell this, I've told this to my employees, I've told this to anybody who would listen. When you know things, it has real value.
Weren't you consulted many times in your paint? I've heard people talk to you about what kind of paint to use in certain applications.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I've done consultation work and for manufacturers and large end users, but because they understand the value of getting the information right the first time.
Priceless. Did you ever use lead paint, Frank?
Back in the 60s, we sure
did.
Outside paint was leaded paint.
That's poisonous.
Yeah. But it never mildewed.
Oh, really? It's one of the things that happened.
Yeah.
So the leaded paint was better?
Well, anything with that has metallurgy in it, you won't get mildew.
Can you still buy lead?
No.
Oh.
You have to use white lead. It's not available.
Well, I got some. I'll just dump it in and stir it in.
There you go.
It won't mildew now.
A little bit of linseed oil and you're good to go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We'll make our own paint.
Yeah.
The Frank factory.
I did that. I did that for my high school project for chem class.
Oh, really? You showed the paint.
I made a quart of paint.
Yeah. You made your own paint.
Yeah.
Oh. Huh.
Yeah.
Kind of cool.
It was fun.
Do you still have any of that paint?
No.
Oh.
No. It's long since gone.
Okay. All right. Well, this is about wrap for the show, I believe.
Yeah. We're about done, but give out the information where they can reach you.
So you have 772-781-8000 is the phone number for Crown Car Care. We have two locations, 4455 Southeast Cove Road and 4761 Southwest Martin Highway. Two locations.
Right.
Both are the best.
781-8000.
Give us a call and we'll get you in as a guest, a customer. We'll look at some maintenance and oil change. You need a tire. We sell tires. We use all the good technology to do things. If I'm going to do it, it's going to be done right.
Absolutely.
We do it at Crown that way. I spend a lot of money on equipment. A lot of money.
And we'll see you here next week, right here
Bye-bye.
on Crown Car Care Show.